not off to a good start here. You'll remember there are two types. There's the and the or. And can be done two different ways. Usually it's like this. Guess we better go big there. And if you remember, let's go 8. It's pretty simple to graph that. How do you say this? Review from yesterday. Somebody, Smith.
2 is...
Nope. Yeah, everybody wants to say that 2 is less than x, which is less than or equal to a, but that's not. I mean, this is unfortunately one of those times where you got to recognize and say, no, that's not exactly how I would say it. I would say, Sammy.
X is greater than 2, or
And.
is less than or equal to.
Right. You start in the middle. X is greater than. It is the same thing as this. X is greater than 2, and x is less than or equal to 8. These are the same way. We just kind of shorten it like that. When you're graphing it, there's something at 2, there's something at 8. Close circle there because it's equal to, open circle there because it's not, and you color in the stuff in the middle. Short and condensed version. The other one is the or one, and that there's no way to shorten that. It has the word or in it. You get x is less than 2 or equal to 2, or x is greater than 5. And when you graph that, generally what happens is they shoot off in opposite directions. X is less than 2, or means either one could be true. X is greater than 5, shooting like that. Isn't that a nice review? Now, because that's way too easy, what we have here are compound inequalities that need to be solved to look like these. In other words, if you look at problem number 1 on your homework, you have this. 6, boom, less than sign, r plus 4, less than or equal to sign, 10. Okay. Here is the deal. Now you could say this like this. R plus 4 is greater than 6 and r plus 4 is less than 10. Okay, you need to change this so that there is just the variable in the middle here. I want the r by itself. Okay, and in order to do that, you have to think of this as 2 separate inequalities to do that. In other words, this. You have to look at this as being one part of the problem, and then you have to look at this as being the second thing you need to solve. And you need to solve them for the letter R. So it looks like this. Don't move this stuff around. Just if I were solving this for the letter R, what would I do to get rid of the 4? Just like in an equation, Evan says, yes, I subtract 4. I subtract 4. So now my R is by itself with this part. I get 2, boom, x. But I have to do that same thing for the right side too. I have to make it at r plus 4 is less than 10. How do I solve that side? Subtract 4 as well, same thing I did the other side. So now I end up with r, boom, 6. So then this is 6. Now, could you just, if you can keep the track in your head, could you just say, okay, I'm going to subtract 4 from both like this right away and do it? Yes. Okay, yes you could have, and it would have worked out just the same. And then you can graph it like this. There's a 2, there's a 6, they're both open. It's an and problem, so it shoots to the middle, and everybody's pretty much happy there. Okay? Now, obviously, Christian is saying to himself that this cannot be that easy. And he probably wants to say that out loud.
This could not be that easy.
Okay. Here's the deal. You gotta watch out for when the variable is negative. Look at problem number 6, where it says negative 18 less than or equal to negative 6x. I'll just make it a 6x. That's a b, but I don't care. Boom, negative 3. Okay. Listen to me carefully, children. Wait, that's not right, is it? It's negative 3. We did all that. That makes sense, huh? This is negative 3?
Yeah.
How am I supposed to fix that? I don't want to erase all this. What is it, negative 3?
Yeah.
Sorry, that will make life a lot easier. All right, I'm just going to erase it all. Negative 3. This has been a bad start to this whole program here. Wait, what? And then what? Negative 3. Negative 3. This is it? This is the way it is? Okay, listen to me very carefully, children. Don't think you know how to do this just yet. When you see the letter being negative, right away you should think uh-oh. Because when that, you are never allowed, when that thing is negative, it just puts a monkey wrench into the whole gizmo gadget works. Okay, because anytime with inequalities, you have to get rid of a negative that's next to a variable. That means all of the signs on the thing are going to change because everything is changing to its opposite. Okay, so this is what happens here. It gets a little complicated here. To get x by itself, I need to divide by a negative 3. That means everything gets divided by a negative 3. I kind of did it all in one thing. But just like when we talked about other inequalities, if you change the sign of the variable, the inequality signs change as well. So now this ends up going this way, and this ends up going that way. And the whole thing really gets flipped around. Okay? Because watch what happens here. Negative 18 divided by negative 3 is 6. Negative 3 divided by negative 3 is 1. And you'll remember, it really doesn't matter, but you'll remember I said always with compound inequalities, these signs are there, should be the less than signs, not the greater than signs. And that's fine because all that means is all this stuff needs to, think about this as like being on an axis and you're turning the whole sign and flipping it over. It just ends up looking like this. Boom, 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 boom. It's like you flip the whole thing around, spun it on that axis, and graphing it would be, you're at 1, there's an open circle, there at 6, there's a closed circle, and it goes together. Is that not as exciting as anything could possibly be? I think you're ready for me to throw one at you and see what happens there. Looking at problem number 8, does that frighten you?
Yes.
Well, how do you solve an equation that would have n divided by 5 in it, Calvin?
Well, it was a fraction, so I was going to say something like that. And I got something else.
Well, what's the opposite of dividing by 5? Multiply everything by 5. If you have this problem, 0 is less than n divided by 5, which is less than 1. The first thing you look at, are the signs going to change? Is the variable negative? No. So it's a good thing. The only thing you have to do to solve this is multiply everything by 5. Because 5 multiplied by 5, or n over 5 just gives you an n. 5 times 0 is still 0, and 5 times 1 is 5. And that's all you have to graph. Have fun, Alex? How come I don't see an or problem there? Oh! How come nobody said anything about problem number, what do you want? 7, 9, or 10? No, just one of them. Yeah, number 10. Number 10. Negative 32 less than or equal to 8b minus 8 less than negative 24. First thing to look at, is the variable negative? No. So your signs aren't going to change. You don't have to worry about that. Now this you got a little bit of extra work to do, and it's up to you how you want to do it. I've got to get the letter B by itself here. In order to get that letter B by itself, Ryan, first step is probably to do what? Add the 8 to what? And to Yeah, you need to do it to both sides. When you add 8, you need to add 8 here, and you need to add 8 there, because there's two equal equations there. When you add 8 to negative 32, Christian, I get,
Or wait, no.
you're right, negative, not 14, but 24. I mean, you were right in the right, you just kind of did it. That's all. Now I'm left, I have the 8b there, and what's negative 24 plus 8, Ariel? Negative 16. And then once you get that, Jacob, I'm going to do what to get the letter B by itself?
Divide by 8 on both sides.
Everything gets divided by 8. So now this is a negative 3, less than boom, B, boom. And reading this out, you would say B is greater than or equal to negative 3, and B is less than negative 2, which looks like this. I think we need an OR problem. Is there no OR problems? Have we not had an OR? Is there ORs on the back, or did I do something wrong? There's an OR. Let's just look at problem number 18. 9b minus 6. 9b minus 6 is greater than or equal to negative 33, or did I say 16? Yeah. Negative 7, negative 5x, less than negative 22. I'm shocked that I haven't heard anybody say uh-oh yet. What's the uh-oh there, Kelvin?
Negative 30.
Where?
So, negative 9.
There is no negative 9.
Yes, yes, the or.
Oh, this was negative 9?
No, it's
No,
or
it's not
negative
negative
9.
This is negative 9?
Yeah,
Well, how did I write it down negative 9?
and then
And
there's
it's
a B.
negative V and then.
What? Did I write the whole thing down wrong?
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
wait.
it's the.
Tell me it again. What's this or what?
Negative 9,
Negative 9,
negative V,
negative b.
then greater or equal to negative 4.
Okay, sorry about that. So where's the uh-oh? Right there. Just know when you get to that point, you're gonna be switching some signs. You know, I wouldn't do it now, but when I get there. First thing I do is solve this side, what do I have to do here to solve that? Add 6 first, correct? And again, hopefully you're getting this. Negative 33 plus 6 is negative 27. Now how do I solve that for the letter V? Going to divide by 9, correct? Divide by 9. So V is greater than or equal to negative 3. It's okay to have negatives over there. It's only when the V is negative. Now comes the uh-oh part. Oh boy. What in the world happens here? First thing I would do is what? Savannah? When I get to this point. I want to get V by itself, so the first thing I do is, just like any other equations, take a stab. Eli?
Move all the numbers to one side.
Right, so I need to get what over there?
The negative 9.
Yeah, so I add 9. Now, no, I'm not changing the sign on this because this is not the variable. I can add or subtract without changing signs. It's only when I divide or multiply by negatives, which is what I have to do here. So I add 10, it's okay, I don't change signs yet. I have a negative V is greater than or equal to positive 6.
How would you
Why
do
did
that?
I don't know. Just think of 10. How about positive 5? See, I'm glad when you're confident enough that you can question the teacher a little bit. Some people are not yelling at me. There you go. And then, now, what do I have to do? The only thing wrong now is that negative b, which means I need to make this its opposite, make this its opposite, make this its opposite. And then when you graph it, just make sure that your line's going opposite directions. V is greater than or equal to -3, so here's -3, it's greater than, so it goes this way, or V is less than or equal to -5, less than or equal to -5. So they do go in opposite directions. That would make life just that much better for all. Got me there?